unicorns. The A-list celebrities of medieval myth. Forget dragons or knights. If you wanted to impress someone in the Middle Ages, you talked about unicorns. Travelers claimed they roamed distant lands, merchants sold their magical horns, and scholars wrote about them as if they were neighbors. Even Marco Polo thought he saw one. Spoiler alert, turns out it was a rhinoceros. But who cared about the truth? To the medieval mind, the unicorn wasn't just an animal. It was a symbol of love, faith, power, and even sexuality. So, how did this mythical creature go from rhino confusion to cultural icon? Let's find out. Imagine this, you're a medieval hunter on the trail of a unicorn. But this isn't your typical hunt. No bows or spears will do. Instead, you'll need a virgin. The legend says that the unicorn is irresistibly drawn to purity. The maiden, often tied to a tree, acts as bait. The unicorn, overcome by the maiden's aura of chastity, comes to her. In some versions of the story, it lays its head in the maiden's lap and falls asleep. In others, well, let's just say things get a little more spicy. Some myths describe the unicorn sucking on the virgin's breasts before falling asleep with what historians euphemistically term his horn in a very symbolic position. Awkward, right? And just like that, the hunters move in. The unicorn is captured to protect the maiden's purity. Although, let's be honest, in many depictions, the maiden doesn't look like she wants to be saved. So, let's say you've managed to get your hands on a unicorn horn. Medieval magic at its finest. These horns weren't just decorations, they were believed to have serious powers. It was said to detect poison if placed in contaminated food or drink. People who drink from a unicorn horn fashioned into a cup will not suffer from convulsions or epilepsy. The horn was also believed to function as an aphrodisiac or teeth whitener when ground into a powder. A very useful object indeed. Yes, the horn also repels demons. And of course, you can't just throw away the poor animal's skin. Wise medieval people suggested making a belt out of it. If you gird yourself with it against your skin, no strong disease or fever will harm you. Unfortunately, dear viewers, most unicorn horns were actually narwhal tusks imported from Scandinavia. Scandinavian traders made a fortune convincing people they were holding the real deal, which didn't stop the mightiest of the people of their time, even in the end of the medieval period and at the beginning of the Renaissance. Lorenzo de' Medici owned a narwhal tusk that was worth 6,000 gold coins, while Queen Elizabeth I reportedly received one worth 10,000, the price of an entire castle. Danish rulers were once crowned on a throne made of unicorn horns. The royal chair is still visible at Rosenborg Castle in Copenhagen. In the secular world, the unicorn became a symbol of passion and desire. Medieval poets added layers of romance and even sexuality. The unicorn's taming by the maiden symbolized passion subdued by devotion. What is more, in some tales, the maiden wasn't a victim of the hunters at all. Instead, she was a willing participant, using her purity to tame the unicorn. The lines between love, lust, and power became blurred, with the unicorn often representing a lover's captivity. Love novels clearly weren't invented yesterday. Was the maiden the trapper or the trapped? Protector or betrayer? The ambiguity is part of what makes these stories so fascinating. Unicorns are cute and lovely. Don't be fooled by this gentle image. In many medieval bestiaries, the unicorn was described as a fierce creature. Some legends even claimed it took down elephants with a single charge. Hunters were said to wear full metal armor to protect themselves from its deadly attacks. For the medieval mind, the unicorn's fierceness symbolized the unconquerable nature of Christ. So maybe modern people got it all wrong, and it should be the tough people who wear unicorn hoodie, not your 6-year-old niece. To prove my point, let's have a look at a good old medieval example. Imagine this, 7 intricate panels woven with silk, gold, and stories that would make Netflix jealous. The The Hunt of the Unicorn isn't just art. It's a medieval blockbuster filled with drama, symbolism, and just enough mystery to keep you guessing. These tapestries, created around 1500, depict a royal unicorn hunt that's part action-adventure, part spiritual allegory, and part romance. The story starts with knights tracking a wild unicorn through a lush forest. They don't use GPS, but they do bring a maiden as bait. The unicorn is lured by her purity, rests its head in her lap, and falls asleep. Hunters swoop in, capture and kill it, and in the final panel, the unicorn is alive again. Yep, plot twist. So, what does it all mean? Some see it as a religious allegory. The unicorn represents Christ, its death symbolizing sacrifice, and its resurrection tying to eternal life. Others think it's all about love and marriage, with the taming of the unicorn symbolizing passion conquered by devotion. Or maybe the tapestries were medieval Instagram posts, showing off wealth and just enough mystery to spark centuries of debate. Either way, these tapestries are proof that the unicorn's legacy is as untamed as the creature itself. Let's take a moment to talk about The Lady and the Unicorn, another legendary tapestry series from the late 15th century that rivals The Hunt of the Unicorn in beauty, mystery, and sheer unicorn energy. This 6-panel masterpiece explores the 5 senses: sight, touch, hearing, taste, and smell, before hitting us with a wild card 6-panel shrouded in mystery. Sight. The lady holds a mirror, and the unicorn stares into it like it's checking its reflection. Is it admiring its flawless horn, or is this medieval commentary on self-awareness? Touch. The lady gently places her hand on the unicorn's horn. Very subtle symbolism, don't you think? Hearing. The lady plays a tiny organ, serenading the unicorn. Taste. The lady daintily nibbles on a sweet, with a girl helping her out by holding a bowl of goodies. A medieval snack break, if you will. Smell. She is delicately making a wreath from flowers. But the 6th panel, To My Only Desire, is the real showstopper. The lady places a necklace into a chest, hinting at deeper meanings. Love. Spiritual enlightenment. The truth remains as elusive as the unicorn itself. You might have noticed that on every single panel, there's a lion standing proudly beside the unicorn. Why? The lion and the unicorn weren't just artistic choices. In medieval heraldry, they represented opposing yet complementary forces. As we know, the unicorn symbolized purity, grace, and the spiritual realm, while the lion stood for strength, power, and the earthly realm. Together, they balance each other like yin and yang. Their presence also ties to the tapestry's possible interpretation as a celebration of love or marriage. Yes, again, the lion and unicorn could represent the harmony of opposing qualities within a partnership. Passion and purity, power and gentleness, earthly and divine. Or maybe they just wanted to show off how cool unicorns and lions look together. With its lush detail, rich symbolism, and just the right amount of mystery, The Lady and the Unicorn is a timeless masterpiece. Whether it's a guide to the senses, a celebration of love, or an artistic flex from a wealthy patron, one thing's for sure: unicorns make everything magical. In fact, The Lady and the Unicorn is so great that in the Harry Potter films and games, the walls of the Gryffindor common room are actually covered with the replicas of this tapestry. The unicorn story is one of contrasts: wild yet tame, pure yet passionate. It's no wonder they became symbols of so many things: love, faith, power, and yes, even a touch of danger. Today, the unicorn isn't just a medieval myth, it's a timeless icon. Whether you see it as a fierce beast, a Christian allegory, or a romantic metaphor, one thing's certain: it's a creature that refuses to fade into history. And speaking of enduring legends, let's imagine if Voldemort had lived in medieval times. Hunting a unicorn would have been way more complicated for him. He'd still need a virgin to lure it in, which is hilarious when you realize his best option would have been Quirrell. Imagine the poor unicorn seeing that turban and thinking,
Yeah? Nope. I'll take my chances with the hunters.
Thanks for joining me on this magical journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because let's face it, everyone needs a little unicorn magic in their life. Now go forth, spread the knowledge, and maybe keep an eye out for turban-wearing unicorn hunters along the way. And see you next time.